We are back, and yes, poker fans, you guessed it. This is the third leg of the Philippine Poker Tour right here once again in the Metro Card Club. And as the players get ready for another sortie into the realm of the country's premier poker tour, all eyes are on the prize. As 231 hopefuls look to snag the 398,000 pesos top prize and join Dexter Luna and Rebel Magdagasang in the Tournament of Champions for that shot at a slot at the main event of the World Series of Poker 2013. For many, they've come home. For a select few, this legendary haven of poker will serve as the backdrop for their bid for poker immortality. Who gets to join the elite circle of the best in Philippine poker? Find out as the Philippine Poker Tour's third leg unravels and the action ensues next.
Hello Philippines, and welcome to the third leg of the Philippine Poker Tour. My name is Bob Guerrero and I am joined by Ron Regis. We have scores of players battling for that 1 million peso guaranteed purse here at the Metro Card Club. And Ron, this will be the third time that we will be playing this structure in the Philippine Poker Tour. It's a very long structure and the players like it, don't they?
Well, they like it now that they're more used to it. First time out, it was longer than they were used to, and they were firing and playing hard and then getting exhausted at the end of the day. This time around, a lot of players are going to wait to take their shots, and some of the other players are actually going to play twice the amount of hands that they're used to, knowing that the other players are not going to play at all.
Interesting. Well, we are back here at the Metro Card Club, familiar territory for many of these poker players. How do you think that affects the way they're going to play?
It's another reason to open up and play a wider range of hands, knowing most of the opponents at your table. It's quite a fun way to play poker. You know their tricks, they know your tricks, and it's just more chips coming into the middle, more cards being played.
And this is how we got to our final table here from the last 15 at leg 3. Cholo Copioso is all in with Big Slick and Peter Albrecht. He only has ace-6 of clubs.
He's thinking about making this call pre-flop because a lot of people can push with king high. King queen, king jack, those kind of hands. So he figures he makes the call with an ace high here, he'd be good. But he'd be shocked to see ace king and he's actually behind. About to double up Cholo here. But the 6 on the river, wow.
And Cholo Copioso exits with 18,500 pesos. He was way ahead and he does not look too amused.
Well, he wasn't ready to leave, that's for sure. When he tables ace king and he sees ace 6 up against him, he figures book the double up. Now he's booking a taxi ride home, I guess.
Ed Marcelo is all in with ace king of suit. Hermogenes Spormento with the 10s. It's a classic race situation.
Once again, you see ace king, you gotta keep going for it. This is tournament poker and it doesn't happen for Ed.
Ed Marcelo out in 14th place. Rafael Gabriel with the Rockets is called by Peter Albrecht with king 10. And what do you know?
Well, they moved in on the flop and the man they call Papa Jex had the overpair. But the turn gave 2 pair to Peter and Papa Jex is gone. The guy only plays aces kings and ace king, so that's the only way to beat him is to outdraw him.
Jay Talon all in with queens and Japet Manalo calls on the flop with queen 2, 2 pairs.
Well, they both saw a flop. Jay actually had a playable hand. Both of them suited queens, but Japet hits his kicker on the flop, and that's just trouble for Jay.
The ladies are not on Jay Talon's side.
He needs a 9 or a 10 here. Jay has been down this deep before in the PPT. A king, another king, a 9 or a 10 will help him, but a 5 will not. And once again falling short of the final table.
But really, I guess that kind of consistency shows that he's a very solid player.
Very solid, one of the best we have in the local scene. Always going all the way deep, and just a bad turn of events taking him out. His day will come, mark my words.
Now Hermogenes is all in with ace-jack. Gao calls him with ace-ace.
So this is going in all in pre-flop with a suited ace-jack. The man you call the poor mentor is running into a hand that is, well, he needs 2 jacks to win this one. Or he needs either running straight or a lot of diamonds.
He doesn't get any of them, and the aces of Stephen Gao hold, and he takes down a big pot. Hermogenes busts out in 11th place.
So close, Bob.
And we are now bubble to the final table.
One more player to lose before we go to the 9-handed final table.
Richard Marquez, he's congratulating everybody, isn't it?
He loves when people bust out, brings him closer to the table.
Diego Cristobal, ace-2, and Rene Pacaira, queens, and you think 3 of a kind is good enough? Sometimes it isn't.
This is a disaster. Diego had the second most number of chips, and he went up against the only guy with more chips than him, and he turned trips with a really good kicker, the top kicker in fact, and Rene trapped him with a full house there. Diego did not see this one coming. He did not think that he would have the second most amount of chips in the entire tourney and be the bubble boy to the final table. No one can come closer than that and fall short. 10th place.
24,500 pesos is all the consolation Diego will have. Pacaira, however, increases his stack even more with that boat.
Coming into the final table with a mountain.
Well, Ron, some players are playing very patiently, but other players are really grabbing the bull by the horns and going out there and playing poker as early as now.
Yeah, there's no amount of cliches we can use to describe the action that's going on here now.
More action from the Philippine Poker Tour after this short break.
From the musical The Scarlet Pimpernel, here are the final 9 men about to go into the fire.
Into terror, into valor, charge ahead, no, never turn. Yes, it's into the fire we fly, and the devil will burn. Someone has to fix the baddies, the shit, the baddies, and we, boys, when the world says no to my God, give it go to our dawn, boys. Never hold back your step for a moment. Look alive, or your courage will grow. Yes, it's higher and higher, and into the fire we go. Into fire. Onward.
So good luck. For your best, viewer, support the deal.
And Brian Malantic is getting things started here on our 9-handed final table. Blinds are 6,000 pesos, 12,000 pesos, antes are 2,000.
Alright, here's the first hand.
It's a tough final table here. Two tough foreign players, and naturally with 4-3 offsuit, the instinct is to let go.
More than an instinct, I figure. You must let go.
And however, ace-jack of diamonds for Kronholm.
He's definitely going to come in here with a raise. The question is how much?
He's put in a raise of just over 2 times the big blind. What do you think of that?
Just over is right. Just 1 chip over 24,000.
Fold.
He wants to get some action for his hand. That's what I make of it.
King 10 is folded. Pacaira's not interested. Neither is Richard Marquez.
Well, only man to get action from would be the big blind, who doesn't have to put in much to see a flop.
And Russian Petiza with a junk hand, 7-4 offsuit, is going to defend his big blind.
He obliges with a 4-7.
32,000.
Queen 8-2, Rainbow. It's a continuation bet from Eddie Kronholm, and Russian Petiza folds, and Kronholm wins the first pot.
My name is Japhet Percival Manalo. I'm 23 years old. I am a call center agent and I am from Makati. Well, I got into poker that was back in college. We used to play like home games with my buddies before when someone introduced me here in Metro. And I started like reading books. That's how it started. I prepared for this final table, well, just relax because I got the smallest stack. So nothing to expect but just go up. The stack that I have right now is 242,000. Currently smallest among those guys. Well, I'm looking for that guy Russian because when I tried to put in some raise, he always re-raised me back. So whenever I'm gonna like show my chips, I'm gonna make sure that I'm gonna go all the way with that guy. Well, to everyone, I hope you enjoy the plays we got here. I think we're amateurs, but we know how to play the game.
The action is heating up here. The blind still at 6,000 and 12,000. Richard Marquez gonna toss it.
Hot Sauce hasn't played a hand, which is surprising. He's usually the most active player on these tables.
Albrecht not interested in the ace-5. Japet Manalo with ace-6 suited in the small blind.
Nothing left here but a battle of the blinds. He can choose to play this slowly or just try to take the pot outright.
Check.
He completes it,
Heads up.
plays it slowly.
Bakaira with 10-8 of clubs. The
Check.
flop is king 10. Bakaira has a piece of this.
Bet.
And meanwhile, Manalo has the pieces to what could be a winning hand if he hits this flush draw.
Of course. And Rene bets 50,000 and Japet calls quickly. The turn is a queen of spades.
Another quick check by Manalo.
Player
Rene
only.
senses weakness and goes all in.
Now you gotta wonder, is this a gutsy move or just a big move by the chip leader? You can't easily eliminate from the range of Japet that he could have a king. He could have limped any kind of king into this hand. He could have smooth called on that flop. And Rene's just making a big muscle pressure move by going all in here. He's representing a lot of big hands, and Japet's hesitation has given away
Cards, please.
that he probably does not have a king.
And he's called. Japet Manalo is on the respirator. All he has is a flush draw and ace high at the moment.
Well, any queen helps him. A jack a jack gives him a straight. An ace helps him. He still has a lot of outs here. He's not drawing completely dead. Still got about 30% chance. Little under 30% to walk away with his pot.
Another queen will give him 2 pair and the better kicker against Bakaira. And it is a king of clubs. And Japet Manalo says goodbye because Rene Bakaira has picked up a full house on the river.
River brings the card that does not help Japet Manalo. Although 17 other cards could have helped him, that one is not it.
Now let's have a word with Japet Manalo, our call center agent, on how he feels about busting out in 9th place.
Well, I was thinking that's the chance to double up because I only got left like 140,000, so it's a chance. I got 2 chances to go all in. Pre-flop, he got 10-8. I think he will not call. And then flop, I think I can also move all in. But I didn't. That's bad. To the players, good luck to all of you and to the televiewers. Just enjoy watching the game.
Let's check out our updated chip count. Rene Bakaira still very much in the lead, but some of the other players within striking distance.
You got the man with the most experience there in Martin Corpus, striking distance. Hot Sauce, very active player, a lot of tricks up his sleeve, striking distance.
More exciting action from the Philippine Poker Tour on Solar Sports when we return.
One of the strongest hands in No Limit Hold'em is the three of a kind. Now you must take note there are two kinds of three of a kind. The first version is known as the set. The set always starts with a pocket pair. In this case, pocket kings. Now the board comes out, and fortunately for the pocket kings, there is a third king on the flop. So this is called a set. Now there's another way to make three of a kind. In this situation, I am holding ace 5 of hearts. I see a flop with it, and lucky for me, 2 5s have come out on the flop, giving me three of a kind. This is known as trips. So there is the set and there are trips. Remember to always know the difference. That way you don't look like an absolute fish on the table.
So we are down to the Elite 8 here in leg number 3 in Russian Petisa. Looking at Queen Jack offsuit. What do you make of this hand?
Well, first of all, he looks a little too young to be a Cold War baby, so that's an interesting name. But that's a good hand to open with. A table that's been tight so far. You've got the two suites are basically playing like rocks, and the Russian chooses to limp instead. And now Martin can get the initiative in this hand if he chooses to.
And Martin has King Queen suited, and he just calls it. He dominates Russian Petisa.
Normally a hand that gets people excited, but Martin's too smart for that. He'll keep the spot small till he's got something.
Richard is in as well. The flop is 10-10 Queen.
Martin's got something, Russian's got something, and one of these guys gonna get hurt.
Richard Marquez checks. Russian Petisa bets a third of the pot, and Martin is gonna call.
Well, he's only behind to a 10.
Heads up.
He would have thought a hand like ace queen would have raised, so very confident to call here.
The turn is a king of clubs.
Better.
This is a bad card. Not only does it make Martin's hand stronger, it makes Russian's hand stronger as well. He's picked up a draw now.
And there's a tiny bet by Russian Petisa. Very small, and Martin makes an easy call. The river is a blank.
Card that could not have helped either of them, and Russian leads out with the exact same size bet he's done in the previous two streets, begging for a showdown. It's like saying, Martin, please, can we see a showdown with only 33k?
The bet is so small that it's actually making Martin think about it, what it might mean. But surely he must call, and he does.
Show cards.
And he's gonna win this hand and a pot of 256,000.
Built slowly over 3 small betting streets.
Russian Petisa, of course, one of the billiard players who has shifted now to poker, still gaining experience in the nuances of the game. Now let's hear from MetroCard Club's Nina Castro.
Thanks, guys. All right, poker fans, we are here with the marketing director of the MetroCard Club, Miss Nina Castro. Now, Miss Nina, we saw you in leg 2. You were actually the only woman in the final table and probably the only one in Philippine Poker Tour history so far. So how does that feel?
Well, I'm still proud of it, of course, and I'm playing right now, so I wish I can make it to the final table again.
Well, hopefully you will. And represent all of the girls out there, right? Poker's not only for guys. Well,
Calling all the girls out there.
all right. So right now we have the Philippine Poker Tour back here at the MetroCard Club. So how's the relationship right now, especially since this is the second time and we'll probably have it in the next leg?
Yeah. Well, I'm happy that you guys are back here, and I hope to see you again next month. So far, we're on the day 2 of the Philippine Poker Tour, and well, I see the people are very happy. I saw Attorney Aliado, our bosses are here, and it's good to have you guys back here again.
So what about the MetroCard Club? Can you tell us more about it? I mean, on a daily basis, all of the other activities that you can offer, all of the poker fans who would like to, since this is basically the biggest poker room, am I right?
Yeah, that's correct. Basically, we have cash games ongoing every day, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So we have 10, 20 blinds, 25, 50, 50, 100, and we have 100, 200 blinds. And we have daily tournaments ongoing every afternoon at 2:30 p.m. and 7 p.m. except Saturdays. And Saturdays we have it at 5. So we have as much as 200,000 guaranteed every Saturday, and we have events coming.
Well, so it's basically pretty busy here all the time.
All the time, every day.
So is there anything that you would like to say to all of the contenders for the Philippine Poker Tour, especially your opponents, let's say?
Good luck to all playing today and tomorrow and yesterday actually. I hope to see you guys again on final table. Good luck, good luck.
All right, thank you very much and good luck also to your games. And that was Nina Castro, the marketing director of the Metro Card Club.
We're still 8-handed here. Blinds still 6,000 and 12,000.
Out the blues,
First
looking
off,
at Randy Alday, known in the Philippine poker forums as January 70, but he also goes by the online name Alae from Batangas, obviously.
Well. And there's Gronholm. He's sitting this
Raise.
out, and we have a razor, and it is Martin Corpus who has the pocket rockets.
32,000 to cost.
Big hand. There it's a smallish raise. Trying to get action, of course. You don't want to blow everyone out of the pot. You want some action.
But no customers for Martin now. Stephen Gao had aces before. Let's hear from him.
Ako po Stephen Gao, ako ay 32 years old. Billiard po ang profession ko and ako ay from Manila. Player to player siguro yung strategy ko. Like, every player may galaw naman siguro sila, so may counter naman ako against them. Hindi ganun ka sang-ayon yung family ko about sa poker, ganun. Pero parang wala naman silang choice and nakikita lang nila yung progress. I see these players, I mean, these are one of the toughest players here in the Philippines, I guess. So okay naman yung laro nila. I never expect the less from them and I think them from me too. Hindi ako kasi tournament player guy. I usually play online, naglalaro din ako pero more on cash games talaga. If I win big today, I might have a 2-day vacation. Maybe Boracay, something like that. I'd like to invite you all to watch the Philippine Poker Tour here at Manila. Poker is more fun here in the Philippines.
Bob Guerrero and Ron Regis bringing you Philippine Poker Tour right here on Solar Sports. Eddie Cronholm has picked up pocket tens.
And he's going to open this pot from under the gun. Very strong range of hands for this otherwise tight player. If anyone's paying attention, they will know he's got something here.
And he sticks 28,000 out there, just over twice the big blind.
The Swedes like to play this way. It's part of their style. Over here locally, we raise 3 times, 4 times the blind. They like to just double it and add a few chips.
Alday is going to get rid of his weak king. Ace-3 suited for Stephen Gao.
Well, he's not thinking about folding, that's for sure. He could be thinking about re-raising, taking the pot right now. But more likely, he wants to see the flop for sure with a hand like this.
He's out of position, and he's in the tank right now, thinking this one over.
Yes, how to play this. He can flat call and make any number of moves on the flop. If he sees a bunch of face cards, maybe move Eddie off his hand. Or maybe he's thinking fit or fold. He makes the call.
And he's just gonna call, and we're gonna see a flop. And the flop is 2 aces! Oh my goodness, and a 10. I think we're gonna see some carnage here in this hand. Stephen Gao has 3 of a kind aces. Eddie Cronholm has flopped a full house.
Look how steady Eddie is, making a very small bet, the same size bet he made pre-flop. And usually I tell my students it means that the guy's hand has not improved, but in this case, it has improved tremendously.
Stephen Gao must feel he's way ahead, and he's just gonna, well, he's gonna re-raise to 60,000.
Very small re-raise, begging to get called, and he careful what you ask for because he is gonna get it.
Eddie Cronholm pretending to think here, and it's an easy call for him. And the turn card is a 9 of diamonds.
Bet 80,000.
It's a quick bet from Stephen Gao, just 80,000, small in relation to the pot.
It's just really signifying that yes, he does have an ace, and Eddie knows.
Eddie Cronholm has re-raised. He's probably playing ABBA's greatest hits in his head right now. He thinks he's gonna win this pot, and right now, that's. Is there any hope for Stephen Gao here?
Well, he needs to spike a 3, another ace, or he needs the 9 to pair. So that's not a lot of cards for him.
Stephen Gao is going to call, and Stephen Gum must be feeling sick to his stomach now.
You hate to flop trips and see that the guy has a full house. There's just no way to get out of it unless you have a soul read on your opponent.
And the 3 does not come out on the river, and Eddie Cronholm takes down a massive pot of 638,000. Stephen Gao, a very, very rough hand for him.
Welcome back to another edition of Reading the Board with me, Bianca Soldua. Now, as poker players, we always dream of getting quads, and quad aces seem practically invincible. Or are they? Let's take a look at this. Here's a dream situation for pocket aces. A player with king-queen tried to squeeze, but it just so happens that the big blind wakes up with pocket aces. And when the flop is dealt, aces hit quads. Absolute nuts, right? What can possibly go wrong with quad aces in this situation? Find out when we return. Welcome back. Earlier, the quad aces go up against the king-queen of spades. On the board, this dry for the suited connectors. Aces are supposed to be the absolute nuts, right? Well, the turn and the river suggest otherwise. King-queen of spades comes back from the grave and hits a runner-runner straight flush. Impossible! But in poker, anything is possible.
Ako po si Russian Pitisa, 27 years old from Bacolod City. I'm a professional billiard player. Ang poker sports dahil nandun lahat, utak, ginagamitan mo ng pag-iisip, saka kung ano-anong style yung ginagawa mo para manalo. Ang pagkakaiba ng billiard sa poker, kasi yung poker nakaupo ka lang. Yung billiard kasi napapagod ka, tatayo ka. Sa poker, papagod ka din, kaya lang yung utak mo lang napapagod. Nag-prepare ako minsan sa online na nanonood ako sa mga barkada ko. Tapos doon din ako nakakakuha ng mga style kung paano maglaro. Parang minsan kahit wala kang bara na ipapanalo mo dahil sa bluff. Minsan nangungulit ako sa table para mainisahin yung kalaban ko. Para kulin ako ng kulin. Pag ako ay nanalo, bigay ko sa magulang ko yung kalahati, sa akin yung kalahati. Ang mga amigo ko na sa Bacolod, testingan nyo ang pangsang Philippine Poker Tour para mabalaan nyo kung gaano kanami magampang sang Philippine Poker Tour.
Welcome back to our final table, and Richard Marquez has been very quiet, but he has a hand here. He can do some damage with ace-queen suited.
I've seen him race with much less. 10-5 offsuit, so it doesn't... Ace-queen is a definite race for hot sauce.
3 times the big blind, and is the race for Richard Marquez. Russian has pocket deuces.
Well, he's thinking, as a relatively new player, they tend to think that every raiser has something like ace-queen, or exactly the hand Richard has, ace-queen, ace-jack, that kind of hand. So Russian is maybe thinking, my pocket deuces are ahead. But does he want to end the hand now, or make a play on the flop?
He's going to make a call of the 36,000 bet. I'll die. He's going to lay it down. What do you make of this call?
Well, he's going to try to spike a 2, or he's going to make a play on the flop. That's the only reasoning I can think behind. You can't really call thinking you're going to see a flop and stay ahead, because any flop is going to be 3 overcards to your 2. It's so hard to continue.
Action now on Rene Pacaira. Ace-8 is what he has in the hole, and he is not interested.
Going to give up his big blind there. Not enough of a hand. Continue.
The flop is 10-10-3. Rainbow.
Well, good news for Russian. There's only 2 overcards to his 2.
52,000.
And it is a bet of 52,000, roughly a third of the pot from Richard Marquez with overcards.
Well, either Richard has hit the 10, or he's just betting to take the spot down, and Russian figures that he's got nothing. Moves all in.
Gutsy move. He knows he has a made hand.
Well, it looks like this was the plan from the pre-flop was that if he didn't see any of the face cards, he would go with his 2. And there's no ace, king, or jack there, so he's going with it.
And Russian Petiza has made a great move, and Richard Marquez now has a very big decision on his hands.
For most players, this is an easy fold, but for a guy like Hot Sauce with 2-1, he can make this kind of call. He's got a backdoor straight, backdoor flush. He's got the 2 overcards, and all he has to do is talk Russian into revealing some info that he does not have a 10. And this is a call that Hot Sauce can make.
I thought you said he's going to talk Russian, he's going to talk foreign language. I don't know, I got confused there for a moment. Anyway, it is a call. He's got a big stack, that's why he can make that call. And Russian wants to fade the ace and the queen.
Well, even the 3. I mean, Richard has got to be happy to see pocket 2s, because now even the 3 helps his hand. The 3 counterfeits the pair that Russian has, and there's just so many outs with 2 cards to go. Hot Sauce goes for these situations, and that's how he gets big stacks in tourneys.
The third card is a queen. Great news for Richard Marquez.
Well, that's the kiss of death could be for Russian if he does not spike the 2.
Looking very bleak for the billiard pro Russian Petiza. The river is a 9 of clubs, and we are down to 7. Richard Marquez made a gambling call there on the all-in, and it pays off for him.
Well, it paid off. That 9 ball sends Russian to the corner pocket. Did I say that right, Bob?
I think you did. A scratch, I guess, there for Russian Petiza as he goes for the table length bank on the 9. He goes out in 8th place, and Richard Marquez, he probably knew that he was behind, but he had the stack and he had a chance and he made the most of it.
The thing about Hot Sauce that makes him so hard to play is that you can give all indications that he's behind, but if he has any way of catching up to your hand and you give him good odds and he's got you covered, he's gonna make those plays and make you suffer.
And that's why he is currently one of the hottest players in Philippine poker. Let's hear from our 8th place finisher, Russian Petiza.
You're not me.
Kasi alam ko wala siya tinatamaan alam kong bara niya is queen, is king, something lang. Kaya nag-isip ako, inulinan ko siya ng pocket deuce. Pero alam kong ahid ako sa kanya, kaya ako all-in. Ayun, pagdating ng turn, queen. Wala na, talo na ako. River 9. Good luck na lang to everyone.
Alright, poker fans, I'm here with one of the most familiar faces of the Metro Card Club, Mr. Brian Balante. So how are you feeling? Because I think all of our poker players out there are just waiting to get that spot at the final table. And I mean, are you feeling a bit sleepy? Because I'm sure a lot of our poker players right now just want a break. Do you need a break? Because I need one. Everyone needs one watching the Philippine Poker Tour on Solar Sports. So I think we should get to one. Let's hit it.
And this is where we stand with 7 players left. Rene Pacaira in the lead, but Richard Marquez nipping at his heels. And some of the other players still with a shot in this.
Big move there by Richard. Gunning for the chip lead, and Stephen Gao, despite that big hit earlier, down at the bottom, but still a good stack.
Lines are 8,000, 16,000. And we are 7-handed. Randy Alday still nothing to play with, but Stephen Gao, ace king offsuit, and he raises 42,000.
So Stephen's got dealt a lot of hands that he can play with, and this one better than most.
And it's pocket tens for Peter Albrecht. For sure he wants to see a flop.
Well, he's a tight player, but he's got a good hand, and he's on the button. Definitely merits at least a call. And that's what he does.
Meanwhile, Rene Pacaira has woken up with the Cowboys, pocket kings, in the small blind.
This is such a great situation, such a special hand from the small blind when you're looking at a guy who opens for a raise and a rock who calls, and now you gotta figure out, how do I get more money in there?
And he seems to be Hollywooding this.
I'm not sure he's Hollywooding. I think he's just trying to figure out some number between 100,000 and $1 million. Is he what he wants to put in there?
Rene Pacaira, our chip leader, and he re-raises to 148,000. Richard Marquez says goodbye to this hand, and now decision time for Stephen Gao.
I think this re-raise bet size that Rene threw in makes it a little easier for Stephen Gao. He's not just going to flat call and leave 100,000 to play with later, so he's either putting it all in now or getting out of the hand. The question is, what does he think Rene has? Is he stealing or is he legit?
Stephen Gao must be hoping that Pakaira has pocket queens or less. He's gonna go all in.
They're all in.
266,000. And Peter Albrecht
Gets caught between a rock and a hard place. Well, he's the rock, so he's caught between a couple of hard places. And he can't just call and then get re-raised behind him by Rene. It's such a fix to be, and he's only put in 42,000. He's not putting in any more.
He probably thinking that, Stephen Gao might even bust out here. So better to wait and
Move up
throw
the
the
money ladder,
tens. And it is a call from Rene Pakaira. The pot is now 604,000.
The easiest calls a player can make.
The Kings dominate. Ace King. Stephen Gao needs an ace.
Needs an ace or needs a running straight or some kind of miracle.
He's wondering, is that man purse that he's holding that's slung around his shoulder, is that going to be filled with 398,000 pesos? Not with cards like this. 295 rainbow baby cards.
Baby cards and another baby card, and the purse is filling up with dust as we speak.
Stephen Gao is out. The 10 of hearts would have helped Peter Albrecht though.
I'm giving him a big hand and a triple up, but he's not in the hand. Rene is in the hand, and he takes this pot.
So we are down to 6. Goodbye, Stephen Gao and Rene Pakaira. Another huge hand going his way here at the Philippine Poker Tour. And after that massive win, Rene Pakaira solidifies his place on top of our chip count. But don't count out Richard Marquez. He still has the chips to make a stand. Peter Albrecht and Randy Alday, they need to make their move. Let's hear now from attorney Jojo Aliado, the founder of the PPT.
It's always nice to see a familiar face, and of course here we have a very handsome familiar face, Attorney Jojo Aliado. Now, Attorney, I heard that you went to the World Series of Poker, and you can tell us about your experience there.
I came in 2 weeks before the main event, and I think that was the mistake. Considering my age, I never realized that I would have a harder time acclimatizing to the change in the time zone. I found myself really tired and easily fatigued. So I decided the last minute not to play the main event and just focus on side, the deep stack and the other side event. As expected, I didn't do too well because I wasn't physically prepared for that. For the Filipino to make it to the World Series of Poker, that Filipino poker player must not only be savvy game-wise, he must be physically prepared for it. In the WSOP, you play 2-hour blind levels. You come in at 12 noon, you finish playing around 12:45, almost 1 in the morning. Go back to your hotel or go back home or wherever you're staying. And then play the next day for another grinding sequence of 6 levels at 2 hours each level. Next time I play or decide to play the main event, that I should be physically prepared for it as well. Jay Lubas played extremely well. Day 1A, he was the second chip leader. An amazing accomplishment for someone who's not as heralded as the other poker players. He told me when I talked to him that after playing for 4 or 5 days, he was just so exhausted. He's a very good player, he makes very good decisions, but I feel that maybe he was really tired and maybe he really needed to double up on his chips.
Hi, I'm Ron from the Asia Poker Academy, and I want to talk to you about staying aggressive. Now let's say you're in a tournament and everybody has folded to the small blind who completes the small blind. We are in the big blind with ace-10 offsuit. Do we check, raise the minimum, raise 4 to 5 times the big blind, or raise all in? The answer when we come back. Welcome back. I'm Ron from the Asia Poker Academy, and before the break, we were talking about staying aggressive. Now it's a tournament. The small blind is completed, no other callers. We're in the big blind with ace 10. If you answered check, then you need to be more aggressive. You cannot let the small blind come in and see a flop for free. Well, next to free. If you answered raise the minimum, you're on to the right track, but not quite as aggressive enough. Now, if you answered raise all in, that is aggressive and also a little crazy. You want to be aggressive, just the right amount, so raising 4 to 5 times the big blind is a good start to keeping an aggressive game, staying in control, and keeping your opponent on the ropes. Most of the time, he folds pre-flop, you take a pot down, no showdowns. That's aggressive poker.
I am Randy Alday. I'm 41 years old and I am working as a supply manager for a shipping company. I'm originally from Batangas, living now in Makati because of the job. Playing poker is like my way of stress reliever. I played basketball, I played tennis, but poker is really something that can give you a lot of good ideas. You can meet a lot of persons from different culture. In the final table, I'm really watching for just 3 guys. Martin Corpus is really a pro poker player, and so was Richard Marquez. Russian Petisa, this is the first time I played with a guy, but he's kind of really, you cannot tell what he's playing. This is the cheapest way you can get to WSOP. So I think you cannot just play something like an ordinary game for this one. You really have to concentrate, and the goal for me for this game is to win.
And now our blinds are going up 10,000, 20,000 with an ante of 3,000.
Well, the good news is there's more money in the pot. The dead money before a card is even dealt, 48,000. The bad news is Randy's short stack is now shorter by comparison. Looks up to the heavens.
We've got 3 folds to Randy Alday, and he will shove all in with just 8-6 offsuit.
Well, this is a no-brainer here. He could do this with any 2 cards and just hope they fold out of the pressure, but no amount of pressure is going to fold out the pocket 8s, I think, of Eddie Cronholm.
Especially since he has a very healthy stack and he calls. Martin Corpus is out of the way, and these 2 gentlemen are gonna flip their whole cards, and Randy Alday is in dire straits at the moment.
Dire straits. The most he could hope for was that his 6-8 was live against something like ace-king or even aces. But seeing 2 8s on the board means catching a 6 won't even be enough. He needs to catch a 6 twice. He needs to catch 3 cards to make a straight, or 4 cards that happen to be clubs. It's just a lot of unlikely combinations to get out of this for Randy.
He's smiling though. I think he is kind of resigned to his fate. The flop, it's 2-7-3 of 2 diamonds, and no help to Randy Alday.
Well, it's not the miracle he hoped for, but a third of the miracle has arrived, the 7. All he needs now is to complete a straight downwards or up. The 7 on the turn does not do it.
Randy Alday is drawing dead and is eliminated. The 9 of diamonds in the river isn't gonna help him. We are down to 5, and it was a tough final table for Randy Alday.
Well, he waited for a hand, did not get a hand.
Let's turn you over to Bianca Saldua, who is with our 6th place finisher, Randy Alday.
All right, poker fans, our 6th man to bust out, and unfortunately has to be this guy right here, Randy. Yeah, so what exactly happened to you right there?
Well, it's just really a bad run for the whole more than 2 hours. The only packets that I got for the whole duration is packet deuce, but I still folded it because the chip leader raised it before me, so I don't have to do it against it. So, well, that's it.
Was there anything that you would have done differently?
Well, no, I would love to, do some plays, but I got 10-6 like 6 times, and as I've said, that's the only packets that I got.
Is there anything that you would like to say to all of your supporters, your family, your friends?
Well, just wanted to thank all the support from the Filipinos poker and the family. The wife supports me with this sport, so yeah, really thank her for that.
And with 5 players to go, Rene Pacaira is still on top. But Eddie Cronholm and Richard Marquez have the kind of stacks where if they play aggressive and hit some hands, they can do some damage. Peter Albrecht and Martin Corpus in some trouble. They've got to make their move. As hostilities ensued in the final table of the Philippine Poker Tour's third leg at the Metro Card Club, fireworks sparked immediately as the combatants engaged each other early, leading to virtually one elimination after another. First to hit the rail was call center agent Jafet Manalo when his nut flush draw remained a draw as chip leader Rene Pacaira's mid-pair held and the rich got richer. Then it was the turn of Richard Marquez as the man called Hot Sauce made short work of billiards pro Russian Petiza when a river out draw led to Russian busting out in 8th place. With the action becoming more fast and furious, poker veteran Stephen Gall seized the opportunity to double up off Pacaira. But to his dismay, his one-over card never found a partner on the board, and Pacaira scalped yet another as the field was trimmed to 6. Later on, Metro regular Randy Aldai's futile effort to steal the blinds and antes against the dominating hand of Swede Rock, Eddie Cronholm, sent him packing and reduced the contenders to just 5 remaining to contest the 398,000 peso top purse and the 3rd seat in the Tournament of Champions this March, where a WSOP main event seat awaits the victor. Tune in next time to see the last 5 players duke it out for the title. For my partner Ron Regis, the lovely Bianca Saldua, and all the men and women behind the Philippine Poker Tour, this is Bob Guerrero, and you have been watching the Philippine Poker Tour on Solar Sports.